Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of the Peak Physique Podcast. The Peak Physique Podcast is a podcast for adults who want to get their fire back. So today's a big number. We got episode 50, kind of exciting milestone, and really glad to have all of you out there watching and listening today. Thanks for tuning in again, and thanks for sticking with me through 50 episodes. Today's episode is titled, "If You Are Doing This Trendy Diet, Stop Now." Welcome to the podcast. If this sensational headline brought you here today, I'm not about to raise any controversy or say anything out of question in the world today. I'm in fact going to admit a wrong and something that I and many in my profession have been doing for a long, long time, and that is a caloric restriction diet. So if you're doing caloric restriction diet and it's working for you, you can ignore this. I truly believe that if you're on some sort of diet plan and it's working for you and you have a firm belief in it, then you keep doing it, because if it's working for you, why stop now? So again, if that's you, you can shut this off. It's okay. Or you can hear me out on the things that I'm about to say, because it might impact you down the road. But anyway, caloric restriction is something that I have been recommending to clients since I started as a trainer. And like a lot of things I started doing when I was brand new in this industry, it's wrong. I'm reading currently Fast Like a Girl by Dr. Mindy Pelz. It's all about fasting. Obviously, she's got a little bias because she's writing a book about fasting and really advocating for that approach to diet. But she really makes some strong arguments on why caloric restriction isn't the best diet method. And I'm going to cover some of those today. They're right in the book. In fact, this first one that I'm going to discuss, which is called set point theory, was something that was determined through a very in-depth study done by the Minnesota State Department. Set point theory says that when you stick to a caloric number, your body's metabolism adjusts itself to live off of that number of calories. So in fact, eating like, let's say, 1,500 calories a day for a week, instead of having a metabolism that's burning 1,800 calories a day, your body intuitively adjusts itself to 1,500. So you're staying where you're at and your body can stay stable. Well, that's not a great thing if you're trying to lose weight. It's also not a great thing if you have weaknesses to foods you're not supposed to eat, because obviously you're not always going to be sticking to that 1,500. So if you're at 1,500, your body's metabolism has adjusted itself to stay there. You have a bad weekend and you're eating 3,000 calories a day. You're packing on all those calories now. And obviously, again, that is not what we want. So again, set point theory says that that's what happens when you're doing a caloric restriction diet. Another thing that Mindy brings up in her book, or I should say Dr. Mindy Pelz, another thing she brings up in the book is doing caloric restriction is very stressful. You're always tracking your numbers. You're always aware of, I'm right here and I need to be right here. And that causes a stressful reaction in your body, which creates cortisol. Cortisol is the enemy of fat loss. If you're living in a stressful environment, losing weight is going to be a lot harder than if you're not stressed out. So obviously that works against you if you're trying to lose weight. Tracking calories also leads to a bit of an obsessive behavior. You're always aware of where your calories are at. You're always thinking about what you need to be eating, and that tends to get obsessive for people who are kind of prone to that type of behavior. And that's not what we want for people. We want you to enjoy yourselves and not really think much about what your diet approach is. We just want you to live in it. Another problem that I see from caloric restriction is it's complicated. I think personally, in almost everything in life, a simple plan creates clarity, and clarity brings the wins that we're trying to get in life. And the complication of tracking those calories puts you outside of that clarity in motion. So that's my opinion on that one. So to sum this up again, caloric restriction isn't the greatest way of doing things. However, if it's working for you now and you believe in it, please don't stop doing it. Keep working with what's working for you. But set point theory states that caloric restriction is problematic. It creates stress as well. Stress creates cortisol. Cortisol slows the weight loss process. It leads to obsessive behavior. Constantly being aware of where your calories at isn't something that I personally would want in my life. I just want to frickin' eat and enjoy what I'm eating. Also, it's complicated. Complication isn't what we want in anything. Simplicity is always a winner. And again, that sums everything up. Personally, I think fasting is the way to winning in diet. If you've been following me for a while, you're probably aware of that. But I'm reading this book right now just to have a better understanding of fasting in general. From reading the book, I know that fasting is different for a woman than a man. And I'm just going to continue to educate myself because I'm leaning deeper and deeper into fasting. If you're on a caloric restriction diet and you're not liking it, maybe consider switching to fasting. If you need help with that, you know where to find me. I'll leave my email in the comments section. Send me an email. We can talk. Thanks for watching, listening, whatever you did. Thanks for following me all the way to episode 50. If you could hear my freaking dogs upstairs right now, thanks for putting up with that. It really kind of messed with me, but I was able to get through it. Honestly, when you have beagles, barking is just part of life. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this one. Hope to see you soon. Thanks again.